Hello Internet, welcome to Anime Theory, the show where we bring Madara and Hashirama closer than a tiger sign in the tail hole. So, with this show, I'm going to basically give you one of the best theories that I've actually came up with ever. And I'm about to prove to you that Kaguya and Naruto are closely related, closer than you think. So I'm going to explain to you how this is going to work. I'm going to give you a timeline of who I think is related to who. I'm going to give you their abilities, and if some of them may differ from y'all's point of view. And then I'm going to give you evidence based on why I think so. And then at the end, let me know if you see any plot holes, and don't be afraid to comment in the section below with a fireball jutsu into my water prison jutsu. That means if you see a plot hole, tell me. Alrighty, so I'm going to show you my timeline. So this right here is what I believe is a timeline. I know there's a bunch of question marks because that's going to leave a little room for, lenience, in case something may not fit in. But I'm going to explain to you where the plot line is. So of course Kaguya is the main person. She's at the beginning of the tree. Next you have Hagoromo and Hamura. I'm probably going to butcher some of these names, so bear with me. So Hamura, we really don't know too much on his side, which is the second son of Kaguya, but we know a lot more on the Hagoromo. Dang, that sounds a lot like... Anyways. So with Hagoromo, he had two kids, Ashura and Indra. Ashura being the one that's the reincarnation into Naruto, and Indra is Sasuke is the reincarnation of Indra. So next on the Ashura's timeline, we don't really know because me personally, I don't really know. So I'm gonna skip down and take a wild guess to right here. I'm gonna take a guess for this one. Whoever had this kid and stuff like that, we're gonna have Mito. So Mito is gonna be a Uzumaki member. I know, bear with me. It's gonna be a little lengthy. So Mito had kids with somebody, and one of those being Kushina. I know there's probably a generation or two, maybe three time lap, but just humor me. So Kushina had a kid with Minato, of course, which was Naruto. So going back up on the other side, going down on this side, we have the byukugan section because Mito was the Uzumaki, and so now we're going to go on the byukugan. So we have Daiyuki, which is the very first byukugan guy we see, or user. So let's just assume there's no generation gap between Daiyuki and Heishi, I think his name is, which is Hinata's father, and Hizashi, I want to say it is, which is Neji's father. So Daiyuki, Hazashi, or whatever, Hinata and Neji all have Byakugan base. Okay, so going up the timeline back to Indra. We have Indra, and I have two question marks to give you a little bit of a lenience there for me personally. Let's go with the left. With the left, we had somebody who had Madara and Izuna, which are the Uchiha members. So, we're going this way. So, with that, we go back up on the other side. Let's just give whatever. And let's say someone created the Senju, which would be Hashirama and Tobirama. So, with Hashirama, given a gap, we get Tsunade. So, with that being all of the timeline base, that's what mine is. So, just to give y'all a rough look of what it looks like. I know my handwriting's terrible. We don't really know much about Hamura, whatever. So, I'm going to give y'all the abilities of each of everyone and let them, to show you how many are in a similar ability. So, Hagoromo has all the abilities of Kaguya. He's got the Rinne Sharingan, the Rinnegan, the Sharingan, and the Byakugan, but prefers the Rinnegan because, of course, it's the most powerful ability of the whole bunch. So with Ashura and Indra, Ashura has Sage Mode, which, of course, Hagura does as well, or Hagoromo. Ashura has Sage Mode, the Rinnegan, and Byakugan, we never really see him use Sharingan, so I'm not including that because we don't know. Because Indra has the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. We know that because, of course, both kids of Hagoromo uses Rinnegan. Alright, and so going down on Ashura's Mito, I'm going to give her a Sage abilities because you don't really see her using Sharingan, Rinnegan, or Byakugan, but her sealing, a lot of like with Ashura, he uses sealing to seal, or Hagoromo uses the sealing to seal Kaguya, so of course Ashura should have it, and then going all the way down, Mito should have it. So from Mito, we got Kushina, which is basically Naruto's mother, which she is an Uzumaki, which she should have Sage because of the sealing, because of all the way up. Naruto, of course, has Sage because he learned it, but I'm pretty sure he already had it. He just, reworking it. Going back down the other side with Ashura, we have Daiyuki, Hashi, Hazashi, Hinata, and Neji all having Byakugan. But we never really see them using any other abilities, so I'm not going to give them Sage, Rinnegan, or Sharingan. So going back over to Indra's side of the part, he's got the Sharingan and Rinnegan. So that must mean he's got Senju and Uchiha, because you can't get the Rinnegan without the two. So he must have created the Senju and the Uchiha, because Madara has the Sharingan and the Rinnegan, and he also has the Rinne Sharingan. Azuna, before he died, only had the Sharingan, so he must too, if he was still alive, still been able to use the Rinnegan, or the Sharingan. With Hashirama, he's got Sage ability, and because Hagoromo had it, Indra should have it, but I'm not sure if he used it, which means, but Hashirama did, so he should have Sage. And of course, Tsunade has Sage, because that's where the little lines on her face comes. And of course, Hamura has Rinne and the Sharingan. Now, I'm going to explain to you how I think all this plays together. Okay, in one of the episodes, if you remember, Naruto was told by one of the frogs, if one who doesn't possess Sage abilities or blood or whatever, if they absorb Sage power, they'll turn to stone. Which, of course, if you remember the fight between the robot Pain of the Six Pains, he absorbed Naruto's Sage and turned the rock. He didn't have the bloodline. Well, he technically was already dead, but he was of a different clan. He didn't have Sage blood, so because he wasn't able to absorb it properly, he turned to stone. Now, going to Madara's side of the part, he was able to absorb Hashirama's Sage mode without turning into stone. The reason why is because Hashirama and Madara have the exact same bloodline, because they are both descendants of Indra. Indra being being the son of Hagoromo, which able to have Sage. Now, going down to Tabirama, because he's the brother of Hashirama, he too should be able to use Sage. And in that case, if he's got Sage mode, that means, and because Madara can absorb Sage mode, they both had the same bloodline. So both Hashirama and Madara should both be able to unlock the Rinnegan, the Byakugan, the Rinnegan, I already said that, Rinnegan, Sharingan, Byakugan, and use Sage mode, because they're all descendants from Indra, which is Hagoromo. And if you want, I'm pretty sure, you're going to say something, which, don't get me wrong, this is a theory. If you remember back when Hagoromo met up in the fight between Naruto, Sasuke, and Kaguya, he gives Naruto the truth-seeking orbs, an ability that he had in the Sage's Six Paths. And because Naruto had already began to go into Sage mode, Hagoromo basically gave him more abilities, like unlocked his potential in Sage mode. And with Sasuke, he gave him the Rinnegan in his left eye. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all are going to say, oh, but his Rinnegan's different from Hagoromo's. Well, here's the thing. Look at the design of his Rinnegan and match it to that of Kaguya's Rinne Sharingan. Same exact pattern, just slightly different color because it's in his Rinnegan eye and not in the Rinne Sharingan, which is the middle eye. Because it's in his Rinnegan eye, it becomes purple. Because the Rinnegan's purple, the Rinne Sharingan is red. Hence the reason why he has the pattern of the Rinne Sharingan, but yet a different color matching that of the Rinnegan. So, and I'm about to say, this is about to blow your mind because it blew my mind when I thought of this theory. The Uzumaki, the Uchiha, and the Senju all are they're all related to the exact same person, which is Kaguya. Now that is mind blown. But yes, this is only a theory. So if y'all have any, comments in the section below, comment below and let me know. Alrighty, I'm going to let y'all know this. I'm going to be holding a tournament right now. So those who want to enter, these are the rules. First, you have to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and if you pick Team Neji, comment hashtag Team Neji in the comments below. If you're going to become Team Hashirama, basically type Team Hash, H-A-S-H, H-A-S-H, and if you're going to be Team Madara, type in there hashtag Team Madara. One for each different ability, byukugan, Sage Mode, and the Sharingan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of each of these categories who state the funniest Naruto joke y'all can make. And then out of those three, I will put them together and pick out one of those to win this tournament. And the prize for first place, $50. Second place, $25. And third place, $10. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and comment below, and have your chance to enter. Well, this is your host, X Claymore Lord X, out. Stay tuned for another theory.